high like that?
Oh, it felt great. I mean, I did not want to have the stench of losing another game for a whole week. And the way we did it, obviously their starters got off to a great start for them. But I just felt that everybody that played tonight, the energy and the effort and the defense, the guys like Jack White and Thomas haven't played a whole lot. I thought Jack was outstanding tonight. He got defensive player of the game. Guy was everywhere. So yeah, it feels really good to win it, playing our brand of basketball. 95 points, helping to 43 from the field. And I think after that first quarter, I believe they were 4-31 from three. So yeah, it feels good. It's going to be a lot better preparing this week. Not only being number one in the West, but outright having the best record in the Western Conference. We didn't want to share that with anybody. And so to get that win tonight was good.
You mentioned that first quarter, and even though their starters, a great scoring unit, kind of got off this, I didn't think it was because of lack of effort. And then in that second quarter, where I thought you guys dominated, it was still your bench guys, your guys playing today against their starters, that took it to them.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing I thought early on, Scott, was that I didn't think, like Harrison Barnes made 5 threes early, and I don't think he felt this at all. I mean, I thought he was just coming clean, and you gotta get into people. You gotta make them a little bit uncomfortable, and I felt it was just too easy early on. But to our guys' credit, they stayed with it, and to your point, as they brought their starters back in, I loved the 33-24 second quarter. So to outscore them 83-52 after the first quarter, with a lot of guys that haven't played much this year, was fun to watch. I thought Bruce, he was begging to go back in the game. I said, "You're not going back in, bro. Sorry." But that's a great problem to have. I'm not asking him, why do I have to play all the starters are out? He wants to play. So all those guys did turn up the heat, turn up the pressure, and what looked like it was going to be a 80-point loss wound up being a hell of a win for us.
Coach, it's been a little bit of a process integrating Reggie and Thomas into what you guys are doing, but it seemed like they played pretty well tonight. What was just nice to see one kind of under the belt for a little bit for those guys? Yeah,
and I think Reggie actually had some good moments, in the last, 6, 8, 10 games, where showing me, depending upon who we play, like I will not hesitate to use Reggie Jackson in the playoffs. One, he's got 69 playoff games under his belt. And two, I mean, like tonight, 16 points, 4 assists, 1 turnover, 7-11 from the field. He can get to places on the court. He excels in pick and roll. He can make a 3. And then Thomas, obviously, to your point, 12 points, 8 boards, knocks down 2 threes. The unit that closed the game was really fun to watch. I mean, again, I wanted to make sure that Jack White got a chance to play tonight. I mean, Jack's been just a great person to have around. He's been back and forth between us and Grand Rapids, and he deserved the opportunity. Thomas deserved the opportunity tonight, and they went out there and did their job. So happy for those guys.
What type of player do you think Jack could be, in the future, if that's for you guys going forward? Like, with his skill set, what type of contributor do you think he could be?
Dennis Rodman-esque.
I mean, based on tonight, maybe.
The worm. The Aussie worm. I don't know. I mean, Jack is, he had 9 boards in 15 minutes. And a couple of those boards were like, sometimes, let's be honest, sometimes guys get rebounds that come to them. Great rebound. Come on, man. It came to you. It fell in your lap. Jack, he goes out and gets rebounds. He grabs rebounds in traffic. He clears people out of the way to get rebounds. I love that about him. Toughness, physicality, IQ, and, it's in his DNA. Jack White, no matter where he's playing, is going to play hard, physical, tough. And he has the ability to step outside and also shoot the basketball. So, I don't know. I mean, after the rebounding tonight, and I think he's a capable and willing defender as well. Dennis Rodman was the first guy that came to mind. Maybe we should color his hair.
Mike, before the game, we asked you about Peyton, and you were kind of talking about how he fights for rebounds in traffic, the versatility on defense. Tonight he put the ball on the floor a couple times and drove pretty hard. And I was wondering if that's a new wrinkle that obviously you haven't seen a ton of him, but is that a new thing that kind of he has that capability?
No, I don't think it's necessarily new. I think it's improved, but I think he's always been probably defined more of as a slasher. You know, a guy that can catch on the wings and put it down, get to the cup, spins on contact, finishes. And what he has improved upon a lot is early in the year, even maybe in summer league, he was taking a lot of bad shots, driving the ball, contact, and taking a fadeaway shot. Well, and he took one tonight, and coming off the court, that's a bad shot. I said, we have to get a better shot than that. And he owned it. He knew it right away. So I think using that athleticism and slashing ability to get to the cup, draw fouls. But I think the one thing that's really kind of not shocked me, but I didn't know that he could do is when he does all that and he collapses and he has done his job to make the right play behind it, to find a guy working behind the defense in the paint, to kick out to a three-point shooter. And, I mean, think about what he's gone through in the last, 10 games. I mean, like, you can't put a dollar sign on that. For him to play meaningful minutes this time of the year, and, he's shown me, like I said, like if I have to use Peyton Watson in a playoff series, I will, if the situation calls upon it. He's shown me he can go out there against some really good players and teams and impact the game in a positive light. So, that's a lot of players that we can use moving forward, and obviously we won't know till Friday night. Being one is great, but it also sucks in that regard. And then you play Sunday, so you have one true day to prep. But looking forward to this week of preparing and trying to make sure that we have a deep postseason run.
Do you know that you play Sunday?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's not. I'm just assuming, which I guess I should never do. But
Sunday, Monday.
I believe it's going to be Sunday.
Okay.
Is one of the hard things to teach young players, talking about Peyton, to go through contact to finish as opposed to try to avoid contact and throw stuff? Because I've seen a lot of young players play the same way.
Well, it's funny, man. When you played, I'm sure there were certain guys that were just artists in terms of drawing fouls. They just knew how to get to the foul line. And it really is an art. And Peyton, you look at his line tonight, he was 5 of 7 from the foul line. So you can either shy away from that contact and throw up a really tough shot, or you can, boom, step through the contact, go through his chest, go through his body to score, and that's how you get the foul calls. If I'm a ref, I'm not calling a foul if a guy is veering away and shooting up some BS. But if you are willing to go through the contact and take the contact, then you're going to get rewarded. And I thought Peyton, overall, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 5 of 7 from the foul line, had some pretty good examples tonight.
Go ahead, Jenna, last one.
Just about DeAndre, Coach. He's been a veteran across this league now for some time, and we haven't seen him play much, but we've seen him play a little bit recently. Could you talk to us about the contributions he's given to this team, despite whether they're on the floor or not on the floor?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I think all too often, our fans, the media, you guys aren't allowed behind the curtain, that proverbial curtain. And so there's two ways to value a player. Most people value a player on this. All right, what did he do tonight? What was his performance? What was his numbers? And I get that because that's our society. Everybody wants results. What have you done for me lately? So DeAndre played 27 minutes tonight, 6 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. So I think, to your point, he's played really well lately. All year long when he's played, his rebounding's been off the charts. And then the second value that you guys don't get a chance to see, on the sidelines you do a little bit, but the impact he's had on our team has been tangible. It's real. His positivity, his leadership, it's never been about DeAndre. And that's not always the case for the 15-year vet. He could easily have said, man, I'm out of the rotation, screw these guys. He's bought in. I mean, I told him, come be a coach with us in Summer League. Like, he's bright, he's a great communicator, he can do whatever he wants. He can get into the front office, he can get into coaching, and I'm just really thankful that he's here because he's been very impactful for me as a head coach to have a guy like that. So I'm glad you brought that up. DJ's been outstanding for us.
Thank you.